Hey everyone, it's Peter Kerr from Daydream Nation, and I've got a special guest to the channel. I've got Jeff Jourard of the Hollywood Stars. How are you, Jeff?
I'm very well, and it's really nice to be here.
Fantastic to have you on. So, the Hollywood Stars have a new album coming out called Starstruck. It's the first album in a considerable period of time. I
Yeah.
understand, Jeff, that it's being released on June the 14th. I've listened to it. It's a cracker of an album. Can you
Thank
please describe to the viewers what you can expect from this album? Describe the album.
Well, it looks like this, and sound-wise, I'd say it's somewhere between glam and classic rock. It rocks pretty hard. Um, there's a within that accent, there's quite a bit of variety. Um, some of the stuff is from long ago. Some of it was conjured up just weeks ago or months ago at this point, and it's new to the band. So I think even though the band started out in the glam era, they've never exactly been glam. They were pretty much hard rock,
Yep.
classic rock, and that's what they are now. I mean, it's guitar based, guitar oriented, uh, pretty hard hitting.
The Gainesville music scene in Florida. Do you encountered a very young Tom Petty?
Oh well, it's small town. Everybody knew each other pretty quickly, if for no other reason than there was just one main music store in town, and musicians just naturally gravitated there just to hang out, because there were going to be other musicians, and you had no intention of buying anything, but it was sort of like a clubhouse, like especially on a Saturday. So you saw everybody, Don Felder, Tom Petty. Uh, Mark Pinsky, people who went on to work for years for Frank Zappa. Just names that were local names. Don Felder was always very good. He was several cuts above us. He could really play, and he knew jazz chords and stuff, and we didn't know any of that stuff. Tom was just another face. He was in the Epics, which was like all of us, cover band for bars and dances and stuff. Unremarkable at the time. He played
No
bass.
star power. No, you didn't detect any star power in that in with Tom.
Zero. I mean, if anything, he was a bit droopy. You know, uh, that came out later.
Yeah.
Uh, he would get a little bit excited during a hot tune. We all did, because usually we'd had a couple beers, and
Mm.
loosened up. But no, Tom was just around, and he had his own band. The Epics became something else, and then he started Mudcrutch. I was in a much harder hitting band, and I thought they were a bit, uh, well, he loved that country rock hybrid. And to me, that just seemed a step in the wrong direction, because the country music was the theme music for like the rednecks, who were very anti-hippie, maybe equivalent to sort of the MAGA mindset now, in the States. And it just was, we don't really want to go over there. We want to go with the new stuff, which is Zeppelin and MC5 and Traffic,
Mm.
stuff like that. And so my band was more like that. And uh, so I didn't really pay all that much attention to Tom, except that he was a familiar face around town. We'd say, "Hi, Tom. Hi, Jeff." That's about it.
So you were effectively a heartbreaker. How did you get into the Tom Petty fold? Explain that to the viewers.
Well, in the first place, the Gainesville music scene is really incestuous. People played in different combinations, joined and left bands. And I came out to LA in the end of 72. Mudcrutch came out not long after, 6 months maybe, something like that, in 73. And, you know, uh, I didn't see much of them until they broke up. As a side note, I was living with Stan Lynch's sister. She came out to, we'd been pretty serious boyfriend, girlfriend, but it seemed like it was going to have to end when I left for LA and she went to upstate New York for college. So it was very tearful. And she announced she was coming out to live with me. Great. Okay. And then Stan came out shortly after. Um, After Mudcrutch broke up, most of the people in the band went their separate ways and did their own demos. And Benmont Tench, the keyboard player, he was doing demos at Village Recorders, pretty prestigious place. I still don't know how he got time there with a zero budget, which we all had. But somehow Stan was there and he called me up and he said, "We're having a blast, man. It's everybody from Gainesville. You should get down here tonight and bring a guitar." So I did, and we did Benmont's demos, and they somehow got to Tom, and he loved what he was hearing. So he basically stole that band for his sessions. He was not interested in a band. He wanted to do only a solo record because he was sick of all the drama that had broken up Mudcrutch. He had enough of that. And he just wanted backing musicians for his solo trip. Is that a doggy back there?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Anywho, I'm getting long-winded here. Denny Cordell, the record company president, impressed on him that, you know, even though, you know, it's still a solo act, you're the only one signed to my label. I think it'll go over better with the public if there's a band with a star in it, like Bob Seger or, you know, that sort of thing, than just a star alone. And so he agreed. But the thing was, behind the scenes, we were all calling each other going, "Hey, feels like a band to me. This is like the old days." You know, Tom wasn't interested. And then Denny leaned on him and he decided to go with the conceit that it was a band. And it actually was. It became the Heartbreakers, which was a great band. You know, a great band, the same way the Attractions were the best band I think that Elvis Costello ever had.
Yep.
You know, so much more than just a little combo to back him up. So that's how I got in. It was a side door from a demo session.
And what a lot of folk probably don't realize or should realize is that five songs on this.
I'm on 5 songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a player.
Yep.
My parts are on there.
Mm.
Also, that's my motorcycle jacket on the cover. I never get
Yes.
tired of pointing out. I brought some pictures from the formation of the band. Mm.
Very good.
Mm. And here we all are working on some kind of a song.
Yep.
What? And here's the band.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when you're playing, did you contribute any arrangement ideas, or was it really Tom's show? He sort of ruled the roost, and this is how it's got
not at
to
all.
be.
He's not like that. He writes the song, chords, music,
Yep.
melody, words. I speak like he's still here, and I continue to do so. He has like pretty clear picture of the gist of the song and the effect he wants it to have, but not the details and nuts and bolts. One of the things I liked best about what he would do is he would play the song and there would be such an obvious gap where you would go that he didn't have to tell you. You would just hear the empty spot and you put your thing in there and like nobody had to say anything, you know, and it was really just a question of did my part work better than Mike's part? And very often it was Mike, you know, he worked with him much longer than me, but a lot of my parts are on there, you know, and Mystery
Yeah.
Man. I was properly in the band. They had to change the album cover after I was out
Yeah.
because my picture was on there. And then
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Well, I noticed you got a heartfelt thanks in the in the notes, but did you ever sort of angle for a little bit of more of a playing credit, or you just let it go?
I let it go. I mean, uh, I took it really hard when it happened. I mean, these
Yeah,
are all my
sure.
friends from home. It was like the sort of bro vibe, and it seemed to be a betrayal. And besides, anyone who I would have started a band with after that was in the band,
Yeah,
was gone. So I was in a tailspin for quite a while.
yeah. Because you were about to go to the band was about to go to the UK, weren't they? Because they were breaking it big.
Well,
Um,
yeah, because there was no noise happening over here. It
yeah.
just crickets. And Denny, being English, he knew that if the band went over there, they
Mm,
would be it would be an American band, not just a band, but a band from America.
bit
So that's a
exotic.
whole different flavor. And it worked. They got all kinds of tremendous press, and he made sure to send all that back and promote it. And when they came back, they were pretty warmly embraced. And
Yes.
right before going is when I got cut loose because obviously they were sussing up what the expenses were going to be and how are we going to deal with a band that big on a no budget. And I wasn't essential. Mike was essential. The way it turned out, I was decorative, but I wasn't required. So
Did he articulate why he cut you loose, or was it just sort of saying,
he did.
yeah,
And it shocked everyone in the band. They didn't know this was coming. He just called me
yeah,
up one afternoon and said, in essence, this is really hard to do. I
mm,
hate to do this, but you know, um, uh, you're you're not totally happy in the band, which was true. I was frustrated trying to find a spot for myself and
mm,
feeling like a fifth wheel. And if time goes on, it's going to get even harder and more sticky. So we just have to, let you go. So that was his reasoning, and it's true enough. I just was hoping that the brotherhood thing would have counted for more. But he was a very determined, very dedicated, very focused person, and taking myself out of the equation, he had to do that. Sure, he did.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's your feelings about the album? Do you think you still ever go back and listen to it, or
Quite a bit, yeah. And
mm,
plus, I can't help but hear it on the radio. I mean, a lot of those songs are heavily played all the time.
absolutely
Yeah.
American Girl? That was just a
American Girl.
breakout here. I heard a rumor that you didn't like that song. Is that true or not?
I didn't like it. No, it seemed strident and too one-dimensional. I liked the more moody orchestral things that had like at least two layers to them. Like Mystery Man. I love Mystery Man. Sorry, my part is on there. It's very minimal, but I love the sound of that song, that recording. Yeah, I didn't hear American Girl. I just, I played my part, but um, didn't, it's like next.
Were you surprised it became a bit of a hit off this album?
No, it was the bicentennial. It was the 200th anniversary of independence. It was recorded on the 4th of July weekend, ironically enough, of 1976, the bicentennial. So it seemed like it had a shot. It was topical and timely. I thought it was a little too much derivative of the Byrds, that they might get criticized for that. But no, people loved it. You know, uh, I like it a lot more now because I was I would say my checklist for what I like was a lot narrower then. I I hear it differently now, and it really moves along. It's really got that great beat.